Hello, this is Broyar, and welcome back to another episode of our Let's Play for Farming Simulator 22, continuing our Elmcreek tribute run here. And we just finished up a couple more cultivating contracts. It's very, very dark, I realize, but I'm just going to go ahead and turn these in with you guys here, just so you guys can see where all the money's coming from. I'm going to go ahead and turn in Field 68, which is where we borrowed some equipment from, because we were done with that. And we can get you headed back home. And that's that. So let's actually, before I head back home, let's go ahead and jump out. There's nothing else for us to do today. Decent amount of money, but nothing here. Look at there. There's the Crone forage harvester. I've literally been talking about wanting a forage harvester on a completely different save. I'm telling you, this game knows what I want on each save and gives it to me on a different save entirely. It's you gotta love it. Anyway, sorry. Small distraction. What was I gonna do? Okay, we checked that, so let's go ahead and fast forward to a new day. We don't need to wait around. We can get our tractor driven back here momentarily. We're looking for, what's the month for close? September, July, something like that? Or August, October? We'll just keep our eyes open. I should have paid off a little bit of the loan. I always forget. I say always forget. I guess I don't always forget. I just always forget until the next day when I'm like, oh, yeah, I could have done that thing. Let's see here. Anything here? Oh, my goodness. It's not fair, guys. It's not fair. Rubbing this in my face. Oh, my goodness. Wish we had the money for it. Someday we'll have the money for it, and it'll never show up again. That's how that's going to work. Just so you guys know, in case you didn't know how that works. Once you have the money for it, you'll never see it again. We are going to... Let's see, how do we get back to our farm over here? I guess we go up to this road up here. What was I looking for? Oh, I forgot to turn back the cultivator. Oh, no. I think I was going to hold on to it for one more month because we can cultivate the oyster radish. So I was okay keeping it one more month for that. It should be ready to harvest, right? Yes. Okay, so by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this yet. I think I might have figured this out offline after the last episode. But for the next round of crop planting, we're going to plant cotton on fields 50 and 42. So the two across the road from each other. And then 51, the smaller field, is going to be the soybeans. Now, it's not going to be quite worth it as much as the other ones are. Like, the leasing cost for the harvester might be kind of borderline break even when it's all said and done, but it's a step in the right direction, and we're not going to need the cotton. The cotton is just not going to be useful to us beyond the amount that I just mentioned, because we're going to be overloading the current spinnery way too much. Now, we can always buy another spinnery, to be fair. But I think it's just, might as well just switch to some soybeans somewhere, which is something I wanted to do anyway. Let me get you started while I'm gathering myself. All right. So you're doing that, getting that harvested up. So we have 1, 2, 3 more months before we can do the cotton. Let's check some prices real quick. So prices on soybeans. We do have some soybeans right now. Soybeans... We're looking for July or June, which we're way past that. So yeah, I would expect this to be way below, right? Yeah, 1468. We are not even halfway there. And then cloves. Cloves are kind of sporadic throughout the year, so this could actually be a decent price any time of the year. But we're looking for 10,000 plus. Obviously, this is not 10,000 plus. So nothing there. Let me just dismiss you so I can get this header knocked out. don't know. I'm kind of enjoying the oilseed radish. It's just different. And it's hard to say if it's more work or less work. I think it's slightly more work. I haven't actually sat down and figured out how long it takes to run the equipment versus, you know, things like that. But I think it might be slightly more work, but I also think it might be slightly cheaper. So actually maybe slightly is not even the right word. Maybe it's a lot cheaper. I don't know. I need to sit down at some point and figure it out. But it's been pretty okay so far, to be honest. As long as we're not doing like grass on the fields, like on some of my other saves. Some of my other saves we're starting off with the crop and then we're rotating grass in between the cycles, which we're not doing in this case. So as long as we're not doing that, the oilseed radish is perfect, honestly. Get you rolling along. Anything else we want to check out? We already checked out the used equipment, drooled over that. So what else did we want to look at? Contracts. I mean, while we have the cultivator, knocking out field 31 wouldn't be too bad of a deal. That would be the only thing we have. Just because we've already got the cultivator and we've already paid for it for another month. Field 31 is up here. Oh, it's a pretty reasonable size one, to be fair. Would take us a bit, and we're already cultivating some stuff, so I don't know. I'll have to think about that. Let me bump up the speed a little bit. I had slowed it down because we were basically in the dark. It was getting really late. But we're feeling in a pretty good position money-wise. I mean, we got money right now, obviously, right? And I guess I could have scooted that over a little bit more. But we are, and we got a lot of crop that we've got available to sell. I'm sitting there blabbing. I'm not even driving straight. I was looking at the money for some reason, doing some math in my head. I mean, it's, and we got, like I said, we got a lot of clothes coming in. We got a lot of, we got some soybeans ready to sell that are worth a decent chunk of money. So we got some potential income, which truth be told would probably be enough to buy another field. I don't think we get the field bought in time to, turn it into soybeans to make our soybeans a little bit better. It's possible. I just don't know. It really depends on when the clothes get to a good price. The clothes are our big seller, obviously. Well, I should check to see if we need to empty out the clothes outputs. Let's see here. Clothes. Nope, we're good there. Obviously, cotton's still waiting to... We're still getting inputs because we still got that big old block probably sitting there. But clothes are okay. Really, clothes are just waiting for the fabric. And if I didn't want to do soybeans, like if it wasn't soybeans wasn't part of my, you know, quartet of crops that I want to grow, then I would probably just stick with the cotton and build another spinnery. But that kind of is not the point. The point is to grow all the crops, like I said, my grandfather grew, so soybeans is definitely one of those. And now is a decent time to start growing those. All right, well, I'm going to get a little bit more of this done. When we come back, we will probably be fast forwarding soon, because again, we're waiting for some key months for some of our crops, as well as the key months to actually plant our crops. So not a lot to do today other than get this broken down while we've got the cultivator, as I'm driving poorly. So we'll get this taken care of, and then we'll come back. All right, we are almost done with these 2 fields. We still got the other one to do, technically the biggest one by just a small margin. Actually, about an acre or so, I guess. So not a tiny margin. But also, while we were working on this, I decided, since we had the time, because it takes time to do this anyway, and because of the fact that it is, I'll show you in a second, it is the type of crop that we care about, in a sense. I did pick up a contract, and I'll show you what that looks like here in just a moment. If we come over here, we can see that we picked up contract for field 31. We looked at it before. Maybe I should have done it while I had the big contract thing, or big cultivator. Actually, this one might not have come up when I had the big cultivator. But anyway, but since it's soybeans, there's a decent chance that if we cultivate this through, that the guy who owns this will plant more soybeans. I feel like they do sometimes plant a lot of the same crops from time to time. They're not always, but sometimes they do. In fact, we might even go ahead and do field 60 over here as well if we have the time. A couple other things. Actually, let me jump out and I'll show you. As you can see, the fields, they do need rolling, which we're going to ignore. We're not going to do rolling anymore. I've decided that mathematically the rolling is borderline worth it. Mulching is definitely not worth it, in my opinion. So unless there's stones on the ground, I'm not going to bother rolling. But we do need lime, and lime is absolutely worth it. So we're going to get the lime here after we get done with these, and just lime all these fields again before we do another round of seeding. But that'll come here in just a moment. Yeah, lime's worth 15%, which comes out to a 7.5% of your yield comes from lime. Whereas both mulching and rolling are only worth 2.5%, which means that 1.25% of your total yield for a field comes because you mulched or rolled. 1.25% is a really small margin. So if you could get a bigger mulcher, it might be worth it, because if the only way the mulching is really worth it is if the field's big enough to make that 1.25% valuable. And if you got a big enough field where that becomes valuable, then you probably have a big enough field where the 6-meter mulcher is too slow, and therefore also still not worth it. The rolling, I think, is borderline. I think it kind of break even in some sense, but I don't know if you've got stones because of the way that the type of cultivator you use, absolutely roll, because you want to get rid of those stones. But if you don't, then I don't think there's any point in rolling. Thing about the rolling with the stones, is that if you do not roll your stones under, then the next time you use the exact same cultivator, what it does is it doesn't just produce more small stones. What it actually does is it makes your stones one level larger than they were. So that means if you had small stones, you skipped it and you rolled again, you get medium stones. And if you skipped it again, you get large stones. Obviously, both medium and large stones cannot be rolled under, so you have to get those cleared out with a stone picker, which is annoying. So it's definitely worth rolling if you have small stones, and definitely roll when you have small stones, so that you can avoid bumping up to that medium or large stone level, unless for some reason you want the stones, which I suppose if that's part of your plan, then so be it. But I don't think it would ever be a part of my plans, because stones are not worth that much. But And they're also kind of annoying to pick up. So yeah, definitely roll if you have small stones, for sure. But I also would suggest maybe getting a cultivator that doesn't produce stones, like a shallow cultivator. That way you can just skip that step entirely. How are we doing on the contract? Halfway there. Not bad. Like I said, we had this time to burn anyway while we're working on this contract. So, or this these fields, so we might as well be doing something else while we're working on them to give us a little bit more money coming in. Especially since it's for a crop that we care about, potentially. Did I check the prices for clothes today? I assume nowhere near close to what we want. No, not even close. All right, well, I'll come back when we are ready for the lime. All right, we're back. We're done with this contract over here, so I'm actually going to drive. I'm going to go ahead and do field 60. We've still got to do some liming and stuff like that done, so I might as well grab another contract just while we're waiting. It's not worth a lot, but, you know, it is cotton over there on field 60, so makes me feel like it's worth doing. So let me get you up to the road, and I'll get you to drive over there auto-magically. If nothing else, doing field 60 actually pays for the worker for field 31. Sort of. I mean, it kind of works out that way, I suppose. Okay, it's field 60. Let's get you down here. And then you... not yet. For some reason, you did not get finished. Alright, are we good on these fields? Looks good to me. So let's get you... I'm going to hold on to the cultivator in case for some reason I still need it. I don't think I will, but I'll definitely get it back in, turn it back in after this, before this month is over. Goodness, I cannot talk and think at the same time, apparently. So let me get you detached and get you headed over. Come on, detach. And head over to get us the liming dilly jigger. Alright, let's get the lime thing. Not like there's a lot of options for them. We can either have this one or we can have this one. Yes. They both go the same width, just this one holds quite a bit more. I think if we grab you and grab the extension, it's not worth, doesn't cost that much more. Kind of, I feel like the narrow towers just makes more sense for some reason, but I guess it doesn't really matter. It's not like you're doing this while there's still crop on the field. And if we grab the spreading district, pretty expensive, but I just want this to go like real quick and fast. So, why not? Let's grab this. We got some extra money floating around. from other things we've done. And I think I'm actually going to go fill this up at the lime place over there. Just because... Well, how much do we need, actually? What did I say this one was? Where's the volume? There it is. 14,000. So, we're going to get that here real easily. Guess we can do big bags. So that'll be 7. I don't know if we'll need them all, but I'd rather have them all, just get them all done. And then we can, if we have extras, we can always drop them off somewhere. The lime goes really fast. That's part of the reason why I wanted to get the extender and just not have to make return trips and stuff like that. Now, we didn't really need the extension arms necessarily, but why not? Just have better guys over here already. Let's get you set up real quick. Shouldn't take long to get this field knocked out. All right, filled up, ready to go. I don't remember exactly how wide this makes it. It's pretty wide, I think, but this still might be too wide. I want to say it's like 18 meters. Is that what it said? At least the liming goes fast. feel like I'm overlapping that much. I am a little bit, but it still feels like we're using a lot of lime. I mean, even this 14,000 I don't think is going to be enough, which is crazy. I don't think this 14,000 is going to be enough for these 2 fields, let alone all 3 of them. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of this limed up, and we'll finish that contract, and that's basically it for today. So once we get done with all that, we will be fast-forwarding to a new day and going from there. But I do appreciate you guys watching. May God bless you, and I hope you join me again next time. Thank you, and goodbye. I wanted to give a special shout-out to the following channel members. Thank you so much for supporting the channel.